Dick Van Dyke Show. Starring Dick Van Dyke, Rosemary, Maury Amsterdam, Larry Matthews, and Mary Tyler Moore.
Hello, Dick Van Dyke Show friends. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is KJ Ricardo, and today's episode is a guest star spotlight. I like to do these every now and then, and this week's episode is on Bill Idelson. Now, he guest starred regularly as Herman Glimcher, Sally's boyfriend. He always brings his mother along on their dates, and Sally becomes very frustrated with him. But let's learn more about Bill. Let's learn about his life and career. So he was born on August 21st, 1919 in Forest Park, Illinois, and he passed away on December 31st, 2007. His parents were Russian immigrants, and he joined the U.S. Navy in World War II, and he worked as a night fighter pilot. He was awarded a Distinguished Flying Cross and 4 air medals. Before the war, though, Bill worked in the radio industry like many other actors and performers. He worked at Chicago's WGN Radio, where he starred as Skiwix in the radio drama Uncle Walt and Skiwix. He later worked on the long-running program Vic and Sade. After the war, Bill began working in the real estate business before he started guest starring in multiple television programs. He worked on popular shows like Dragnet, as well as Leave It to Beaver, The Twilight Zone, as well as My Three Sons and Perry Mason, The Bill Dana Show, Mr. Ed, Gomer Pyle USMC, as well as Happy Days, and of course, The Dick Van Dyke Show. Now, we're going to be looking at The Dick Van Dyke Show in more detail. So, like I already mentioned, he guest starred as Herman Glimcher. He is Sally's boyfriend, and he was in 5 episodes. So let's look at these episodes. So the first episode is My Husband is a Check Grabber. We have heard about Herman prior to this episode, but this is the first time we really see him in person. This episode takes place at the beginning at a restaurant. We see Herman, and we kind of see his interactions with Sally, and it is hilarious to see how Sally talks about Herman and kind of seeing him in person. The next episode is Uncle George. This is another really nice episode. Rob's Uncle George is visiting in town, and Rob wants to set him up with an older woman, and so they invite Herman's mother over to set her up with Uncle George. But something really bad happens. Uncle George sees Sally and is immediately attracted to her, and so that causes some conflict in this episode, but it's really nice to see. The next episode is Stacey Petrie Part 1. This is Part 1 of a 2-parter episode guest starring Dick Van Dyke's real brother, Jerry Van Dyke, as Stacey Petrie. He's visiting in town, and he wants to woo a woman. And so Rob has him go on a date with Sally. So she invites him over to her apartment, and she's just really going to talk to him and just make him comfortable around women. But Herman comes over, and he thinks that something's going on between him and Sally, and it results in something very hilarious.
I know I will. I know it. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Sally. Are you okay? Did I hurt you?
No, just stay away from me, will you, Stacey? Stay away.
I'll handle this, Sally. You ready? Poor defenseless girl. Wait a minute, Mr. What in the world? What, are you serious? Sally, who is that?
That's Herman.
Herman, you're crazy. Oh, he's not right, Sally. Just let me hit him once, Sally. Mister, you cannot run away. Listen, mister. You don't run away. You're not right. This time I'm going to get you. Karate. That's it. All right, buddy. I'm not going to give you. I'm mad. I'm riled now.
The next episode is Never Bathe on Saturday, and actually, Bill is not guest starring as Herman Glimcher in this episode. As we know, Rob and Laura are staying in a hotel. They are kind of having a getaway weekend. And of course, Laura gets her foot stuck in the bathtub. But Bill guest stars in this episode as the hotel's bellboy. And so he's really involved in this episode. He keeps coming back into the room. He never really knocks on the door. But it's just really nice to see him playing a part that's not Herman Glimcher. So it's really nice to see. The next and final episode is Dear Sally Rogers, and I absolutely love this episode. And so once again, Bill is playing Herman Glimcher, and Sally is frustrated with Herman that he's always bringing his mother along to their dates. And so she goes on to a show, and on the Stevie Parsons show, and she advertises for a man. Men send her letters, and she gets a letter that completely stuns her, really woos her. And so the Stevie Parsons show asks her to come back on, and we're going to see who sent this mysterious letter that really surprised Sally. And of course, the person who comes out is Herman Glimcher. And I have a compilation here of some of the best scenes featuring Bill from this episode. It's a wonderful episode featuring him. Bill was also a part of the 2004 reunion special, The Dick Van Dyke Show Revisited. And we finally learn that somewhere in between the 1960s and 2004, Sally and Herman got married. In the 1960s, Bill began writing for a variety of shows. He is perhaps more well known for his writing than his acting. He wrote for The Twilight Zone, Get Smart, The Flintstones, The Andy Griffith Show, Bewitched, Gomer Pyle USMC, Love, American Style, The Odd Couple, The Bob Newhart Show, Happy Days, MASH, and many others, including 3 episodes of The Dick Van Dyke Show, The Square Triangle, Uncle George, which he guest starred on, and How to Spank a Star. Looking into his personal life a little bit, in 1951, he married fellow actress Seema Wilder, and they had 3 sons, Paul, Howie, Jonathan, and a daughter, Ellen Idelson, who she grew up to be a television producer and writer on shows like The Nanny, Caroline in the City, Boy Meets World, Will and Grace, and many more. And then Bill died on December 31st, 2007 from complications of a hip injury, and he was 88 years old. Fellow writer and director Norman Corwin said Bill Idelson was a luminary. He stood out among the radio comedians. And then Dick Van Dyke Show creator Carl Reiner said Bill was a very subtle actor. He made no big movements, but every time you cut to him, you could get a laugh. And that's it. That's all I really have for you this week. I hope you enjoyed looking at Bill Idelson's career. Of course, he's remembered as a radio star, but he was also a popular guest star on many television shows, but probably best remembered as Herman Glimcher on the Dick Van Dyke Show. He's a recognizable character. He's Sally's boyfriend. She often complains about him, but he's still a really nice character. And then, of course, maybe his biggest contribution was his writing. He wrote for so many television shows, including the Dick Van Dyke Show. And that's probably something that people didn't really know about, that he was a writer as well. And so I hope you enjoyed this week's video. To conclude this video, I have a special thank you message, so enjoy. Hi everyone, I just wanted to record a special thank you message because this week is celebrating my 2-year anniversary of having my YouTube channel, and I also reached 400 subscribers. That's amazing to me. Thank you so much for your love and support every week. Thank you for watching my videos and just appreciating I Love Lucy, the Dick Van Dyke Show, and my old Hollywood tributes, my movie reviews. Just thank you for appreciating the old Hollywood fandom that I am so happy to be a part of. Thank you for watching, and if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time with another video, and remember to always laugh often.